The DC English Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DC English Podcast. I'm Noah.
And I'm Nora. If you want to learn everyday American English and get 1% better every day, you are in the right place.
That's right. We're here to share real stories, practice together, and make speaking English feel totally natural for you.
And Noah, speaking of natural, I just want to say thank you for making breakfast today. I asked you to cook this morning because I was so tired, and you really did a great job.
You are very welcome. That cheese and mushroom omelet was pretty amazing, right? I think I'm becoming a master chef.
Let's not get carried away. The omelet was delicious, but it is literally the only thing you know how to cook. If I ask for pancakes, we end up ordering a pizza.
Okay, that is a very fair point. I only have one recipe in my brain, but at least I woke up early enough to make it for us.
That is very true. You are in such a good mood today. But my favorite chef didn't always have this much energy in the morning.
Oh boy, are we going to talk about the dark times?
I think we have to, because if we go back 3 years ago, I didn't even know what our kitchen looked like in the morning. You never cooked, you never ate breakfast, you just drank black coffee and ran out the front door.
I was a total mess. I used to be a terrible morning person. I was grumpy, I was tired, and I was always rushing out to the car in a complete and total panic.
You really were. You always looked so stressed before we even started the day. Why were your mornings so chaotic back then?
It was because of my phone. I think this is the absolute most common morning problem for people all over the world. I used to keep my smartphone on the small wooden table right next to my pillow.
Ah, yes, the bedside table. Sleep experts always say that is the most dangerous place in the entire house to put a phone.
It's the worst place because every single morning when the alarm went off for Fajr prayer, I would just reach my heavy arm out in the dark and hit the snooze button.
The snooze button. For our listeners, that's the button that turns the loud alarm off for a moment but makes it ring again in 9 minutes.
Exactly. It's a trap. But I didn't hit it just once. I would hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times every single morning. I kept falling back asleep and waking up again.
4 times? Noah, that's almost 40 minutes of terrible interrupted sleep.
I know. I thought I was getting extra rest, but it actually made everything so much worse. But there was one specific morning that forced me to completely change my life.
Oh, I think I know exactly which morning you were talking about. Tell our listeners what happened to you.
Well, it was a very cold, dark morning in November. My phone alarm went off at 5 o'clock. I opened my eyes, and I did the absolute worst thing a human being can do in the morning.
You reached over to the table and grabbed your smartphone while you were still in bed.
Yes, I grabbed my phone just to turn off the alarm, but then I saw a bright red notification on the screen. It was an email from my manager at the office.
An email at 5 o'clock in the morning. That is never, ever a good sign.
Never. The email just said, "Noah, we have a massive problem with the client's account. Call me as soon as you wake up."
Oh no, your heart must have been beating so fast in your chest.
My heart was racing. My hands started sweating immediately. I jumped out of bed in a complete panic. I quickly went to wash up, and I stood on my prayer mat to pray Fajr.
But you weren't really focused on your morning prayer, were you?
Not at all. Physically, I was standing on the mat in our quiet house. But mentally, I was already at the office. I was imagining my boss yelling at me. My mind was completely distracted by the problem.
And what happened after you finished praying? Did you call your boss right away?
Yes, I didn't make an omelet. I didn't even say good morning to you. I just put my winter coat on, walked out to my freezing cold car, and called him on the phone.
And what was the massive problem with the client account? Was it a disaster?
That is the craziest part of the whole story. My boss answered the phone calmly and said, "Oh, hey Noah, don't worry about it. I fixed the problem 10 minutes after I emailed you last night. Have a good morning."
He fixed it the night before and he just forgot to tell you.
Exactly. The problem was already solved while I was sleeping, but my entire morning was completely ruined. I was stressed, I missed out on a peaceful breakfast, and I felt exhausted before the sun even came up.
That is such a relatable story. I think thousands of our listeners make that exact same mistake every single day of the week.
It's so incredibly common. We check our phones in bed and we let someone else steal our morning from us.
We actually have a great vocabulary word for that exact behavior. It's called being reactive.
Reactive. That's a strong word. What does it mean to be reactive in the morning?
Being reactive means you are just reacting to other people's emergencies. You are not in control of your own time. You are just waiting for someone to yell and then you jump.
That's exactly how I felt, like a tennis player who's just trying to hit the ball back over the net. I wasn't serving the ball. I was entirely reactive.
But the opposite of reactive is a beautiful word. The opposite is proactive.
Proactive. To be proactive means you're completely in control. You make a plan and you decide how your day is going to start.
Exactly. When you are proactive, you protect your peace. And as Muslims, our mornings are specifically designed to be proactive and peaceful.
That's what I finally realized after that terrible morning. The time between waking up and the end of Fajr prayer doesn't belong to my boss. It doesn't belong to the internet. It belongs to God and it belongs to my family.
Yes, but to truly protect that time, you had to make some very serious physical changes to your daily routine.
I did, and those changes completely transformed my English, my physical health, and my career. It was the morning routine that literally changed my life.
So, what was the very first step? How did you actually stop being reactive?
The first step actually happened the night before. I started doing something called a digital sunset.
A digital sunset? That sounds very peaceful and poetic. What does that mean?
Well, you know how the real sun goes down in the evening and the world gets dark? A digital sunset is when you turn off all of your glowing screens and devices for the night.
Oh, I see. So what time is your personal digital sunset?
Right after we pray the night prayer Isha. Once I finish praying Isha, my phone goes on a high wooden shelf in the living room. It doesn't even enter our bedroom anymore.
That is incredibly smart, because if the phone isn't next to your bed, you literally cannot check your email at 5 in the morning. You protected yourself from your own bad habits.
Exactly. I had to treat myself like a young child who eats too much candy. I just had to put the candy in another room so I couldn't reach it.
So now, when the alarm goes off for Fajr in the other room, what does your new proactive routine actually look like? We're going to break down all the steps right after this short break. Stick around, everyone.
Welcome back to part 2, everyone. Before the break, I was telling Nora about how I ruined my mornings by reading stressful work emails while I was still in bed.
Yes, and we talked about the difference between being reactive and being proactive. Noah, you mentioned that your phone now sleeps in the living room on a high shelf.
It does, and that tiny physical change created a huge shift in my life. Now when I wake up for Fajr, I have to walk out of the bedroom. The house is completely dark and completely silent.
It's the best part of the day. So you wake up, you wash up, and you pray. What happens after the prayer is over?
After the prayer, I don't rush. I stay on the mat for a few extra minutes. I do my morning remembrance, which we call dhikr, and I just focus on my breathing.
That sounds so grounding. You are filling your brain with peace and gratitude instead of filling it with other people's loud emergencies.
Exactly. And then I walk into the kitchen and I drink a very large glass of water before I do anything else.
You finally learned to drink water. For years, you honestly thought black coffee was the only liquid your body needed to survive.
I know. I was running on pure caffeine and anxiety. But drinking water first thing in the morning completely wakes up your brain. It washes away that groggy feeling.
Groggy. That's a great word for our listeners. Being groggy means feeling slow, weak, and confused because you just woke up.
Yes, the water cures the groggy feeling. It's scientifically proven. So I've prayed, I've had my quiet time, and I'm hydrated.
But are you allowed to check your phone yet?
No, the phone stays on the shelf until after I eat my breakfast. That is my absolute strictest rule.
I love that rule so much because once you open the internet, the peaceful morning is completely over. The noise begins.
Exactly. We have a great English phrase for this. I refuse to let the outside world hijack my morning.
Hijack. That's a very advanced, very powerful vocabulary word. What does it mean to hijack something?
To hijack means to take control of something by force. Like if a criminal takes over an airplane, they hijack it.
Oh, I see. So when you read the news or check work emails too early, you are letting the internet hijack your brain. They are taking control of your mood without your permission.
Perfectly said. They steal the airplane. So I protect my morning. While I'm cooking our omelets and making coffee, I do something called mindful input.
Mindful input. That sounds very educational. What kind of things are you putting into your brain while you cook?
Smiling. Instead of stressful news, I put in positive things. I listen to a good audiobook or I listen to a helpful English podcast.
That is my favorite part of your routine, and I think it's the absolute best strategy for our listeners who are trying to learn a language.
I'm curious, why do you think the morning is the best time for them to practice their English?
Because of the state of their brain. Think about it. After Fajr, you are calm, you are rested, and you haven't started thinking about your busy workday yet. Your brain is like a dry sponge.
A dry sponge. That's a great visual. It means the brain is completely ready to soak up new information easily.
Exactly. It's ready to absorb everything. If you try to study English at 8 o'clock at night after a long day of work and cooking and taking care of kids, your sponge is already full. You're exhausted.
That's so true. At night, you just want to sit on the sofa and close your eyes. Trying to memorize English vocabulary at night feels like climbing a heavy mountain.
But in the morning, while the house is quiet and you're drinking your tea, listening to 10 minutes of natural English feels easy. It feels natural.
And it builds incredible confidence. If you practice your English before the sun even comes up, you have already accomplished something difficult before the rest of the world is even awake.
You win the morning, you win the day. That momentum carries you through all your other difficult tasks.
It really does. And you know, Nora, having this calm Islamic routine actually makes me a much better employee when I finally get to the office.
How does it make you a better employee? You aren't checking your emails early anymore. Don't bosses want you to work all of the time?
Bad bosses want you to work all the time, but a good boss wants you to be focused and creative. When I used to check my phone in bed, I arrived at the office already feeling burnt out.
Burnt out. That's an important phrase. Burnout is when you are completely exhausted from too much stress and you have absolutely no energy left.
To give. Yes, I was burnt out by 9 o'clock in the morning. But now, because I have my slow, peaceful routine, I arrive at the office feeling fresh. I have the energy to solve real problems.
Because you are being proactive, not reactive. You are serving the tennis ball, not just hitting it back.
Exactly. I'm in control. But our routine doesn't just end after the morning. We use our 5 daily prayers as anchors throughout the entire day.
Anchors. That's a wonderful word. Like a heavy metal anchor that a sailor drops into the water to keep a boat from floating away.
Yes, modern life is incredibly busy. You have work, school, family, answering emails. It's very easy to feel like a small boat floating away in a giant storm.
Agreed, but the prayers stop you. No matter how busy I am at the school, when the time for the midday prayer, door, arrives, I have to stop. I step away, I wash up, and I disconnect from the chaotic world for 10 minutes.
It acts like a complete mental reset button, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You can't just work for 8 hours straight without taking a breath. Your brain needs a pause, and we can use those daily pauses to practice English.
Yes, we can use a powerful trick called habit stacking.
Habit stacking. That means you take a brand new habit, like studying English, and you stack it right on top of an old habit that you already do every single day.
Exactly. Since we already pray 5 times a day, those habits are permanently fixed in our schedule. We never forget them. So you just glue the English practice to the prayer.
What does an English habit stack look like for a busy professional?
For an office worker, you could say, immediately after I finish my afternoon prayer, asr, I will sit on the mat for 5 extra minutes and read one short business article in English.
Wow, the prayer is the trigger that reminds you to do the reading. You don't even have to think about it.
Yes, and for a busy parent staying at home with children, they could say, after the sunset prayer, Maghrib, I will listen to exactly 10 minutes of an English podcast while I cook dinner.
And if you do that after just 2 or 3 prayers a day, you are building incredible consistency.
Consistency. That means doing something regularly, every single day, without stopping or giving up.
Exactly. 10 minutes a day is always better than trying to study for 3 painful hours on a Sunday and then quitting.
So, to all of our amazing listeners out there, we have a very simple challenge for you this week.
We want you to try the digital sunset. Tonight, after you pray Isha, put your phone in a completely different room.
Wake up for your morning prayer, drink a large glass of water, and do not look at your glowing screens until after you eat breakfast.
Take 10 minutes to sit in the quiet. Listen to some natural English, read a page of a good book, and let your brain be a dry sponge.
Smiling. If you protect your morning from being hijacked, we promise it will completely change your life.
Be sure to check the description below this video to download your free practice guide for today's episode.
It has all the wonderful vocabulary we discussed today, like proactive, hijack, groggy, and burnt out.
And please hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation with us. Remember, learning a language is just about getting 1% better every day. You are doing better than you think.
So be kind to yourself, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.